the town of Collingwood.
Mayor Saunderson is a husband, father, lawyer, teacher, coach, volunteer, and municipal politician. He practiced law for over 22 years, starting his career in Ottawa with a national firm before moving to Collingwood with his family in 2001 and joining Christie Cummings, a local law firm. He has appeared before all levels of courts in Ontario, as well as numerous administrative tribunals, and taught business law and ethics at Georgian College. Mayor Saunderson is a great believer in the power of the individual in our communities and has served on boards of numerous not-for-profit organizations, locally, provincially, and nationally. He was Collingwood's deputy mayor from 2014 to 2018 and was elected mayor in 2018. Brian was a member of Canada's rowing team from 1987 to 1992 and is a two-time Olympian and a world silver medalist.
Welcome, His Worship, Brian Saunderson, Mayor of the town of Collingwood.
Thank you to both of you, and thank you to the Wasaga Beach Chamber of Commerce for inviting me tonight, and for all the speakers that have gone before me. It's certainly been inspirational, and I think you can tell the pride with which each of the mayors and speakers has spoken about their community, the resiliency of their community, and the power of their community to work together to overcome what has been a very difficult 18 months. And I certainly think that the power of collaboration and working regionally is going to be a key for our success moving forward. I guess from the Collingwood perspective, in 2018, after being elected, I put together an advisory panel of 12, I think, local business experts, of which Jonathan Smay was one of our very dynamic young voices. And we worked forward to look at our economic development plan moving forward. Little did we know that in less than 4 months, we'd be into a pandemic, which was going to take everything certainly off the straight line. And what we did, like many of our neighbors, was create an economic recovery and support task force, which over the space of about 8 weeks, came back to council with 35 recommendations broken into 6 categories. Economic impact metrics. We were strong believers that if you can't measure, you can't tell how successful you're being. Business support and recovery services, business and tourism relaunch marketing, relaunch events, shop local incentive, and very importantly, support social services. Over the period of the pandemic, we assembled a bunch of social service support groups in our community, and they totaled over 45 by the time we got them all together. And it was a very important voice to have at the table, because we saw a lot of our businesses turn on a dime to create PPE, to create hand sanitizer, and to provide food for those that were in jeopardy. And so we really saw how our community worked together. So coming out of the pandemic, and we're still working our way through that, we did finalize our Vision 2025, is our economic development plan moving forward. And we really broke it down into 3 critical pieces, and that is making Collingwood a hub for sustainability innovation, promoting Collingwood as a great place to live and work. And we have certainly seen in all of our communities the pressures from the GTA to move up here and get out of the big city to enjoy rural life, and also to telecommute. And we've certainly seen a huge growth of that in our community. And to ensure that Collingwood is investment ready. So that is really our 3 main prongs of our economic vision moving forward. And what really surprised me is that when our group sat down, we put them in a room for 2 days, essentially, and they volunteered their time. But what they did is they reverse engineered our community-based strategic plan. They found a business purpose to pursue all the priorities that our community had identified as what makes Collingwood great and what we should be focusing on to make sure that we continue to be a great community. So we found a business reason to reinforce what our community plan was. And I think that's been a real eye-opener for myself and for our council and for our BIA. And what we're seeing, I think where the rubber hits the road for us locally, is that we're home to the Small Business Enterprise Center. We're one of 57 of those centers across Ontario. And our center supports residents or business people from the town of Blue Mountains, Clearview Township, the town of Wasaga Beach, and the town of Collingwood. And they have provided programs that have been informed and strengthened, I think, through the pandemic experience. So we're seeing the need to strengthen our internet connection. We're seeing the need to make sure that we support our storefronts, that we are helping to try to connect labor. As we're hearing across the board, there's a shortage. We need to connect employers with the employees, create job opportunities, create job training, and create coaching and ability for funding options. Collingwood went through a huge disruption in 1986 with the closure of our shipyards. It had been our dominant industry for 104 years. We were essentially a one industry town. And since that time, we've learned the need to diversify. We had to come back better and stronger from that. And so it's really in 2012, we were identified by the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses as one of the top entrepreneurial communities across Canada of any size. And that has continued from that time. And I think what's that's shown us is that if you wanted to stay in Collingwood after the shipyards closed, you had to create your own job and find your own way. And so we really have an entrepreneurial strength here, and we need to feed that and to grow that. And so we've undertaken a number of measures, including investing $150,000 in an accelerator. And through the first cohort of our accelerator, we've tried to identify 4 or 5 local businesses with staff under 5 with the mandate to double their staff in the first year. And that will be a metric for us going forward with our accelerator project. But I'm going to go over a couple of services that the Small Business Enterprise Center provides because I think it may be helpful for those listening to know, but it also shows, I think, how the rubber hits the road for not only Collingwood, but for a number of our neighboring municipalities, Clearview, Wasaga Beach, and the town of the Blue Mountains, and how we try to support and encourage business development and establishing new businesses in town. So one of the first is free business consultations for regional businesses. They get advice on business planning, labor, and available funding. And they get access to local mentors in the areas such as human resources and accounting for one-on-one coaching. There's a summer company and a starter company program that's administered through the Small Business Enterprise Center. It puts thousands of dollars of provincial grant funding into the hands of new entrepreneurs to start businesses in Southern Georgian Bay, whether they be summer students, young entrepreneurs starting out of high school, or new entrepreneurs to the community. We focused on Digital Main Street, which encourages business to grow and get an online presence, which has been critical over the last 18 months. But it also helps them to get a digital footprint so that they can get known outside of the area. We've looked at Main Street modernization programs. We are connecting technology to Main Street so that our bricks and mortar businesses are encouraged to explore other avenues. And we're also creating ways for pedestrians or visitors to town to have a wayfinding service through the Discover Collingwood app. Which is a free app you can download on your phone. And that's just been launched and it's had huge uptake. And we've updated the Live More Now campaign, which is our online website, it's a dedicated economic development website. It provides statistical and demographic resources for businesses looking to come to the area. It highlights local success stories, and it encourages business owners and entrepreneurs to reach out for our business consultation services to learn more. I've talked about the Technology and Innovator Accelerator. We're very excited about that as we conclude our first year. And there are partnerships with the County of Simcoe with workforce initiatives, such as the workinsimcoe.ca job site and annual Skilled Trades Expo. So I think there's a lot that we're seeing each of our municipalities do locally, but I think there's lots of opportunity for collaboration. There's a lot of synergy in what we're doing. And frankly, if an employee from Collingwood works in Oro Medonte or Wasaga Beach or Clearview, that's all great for Simcoe County. And so I think that if we can encourage those in our region to work in our region, that is a very important aspect of protecting ourselves and making ourselves more pandemic proof as we move forward. And recently, when Collingwood was ranked by Maclean's magazine as one of the top 22 cities to live in Canada, it noted that 66% of our labor force works in Collingwood. And I think that's a great circular statistic. And I think it's something that we should be encouraging not only in our local municipalities, but across our region, so that we have that labor force and we are making ourselves local, shop local, work local, and be local. So thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you tonight. It's been an interesting discussion.